Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a 2004 American romantic science fiction dramedy film about an estranged couple who have each other erased from their memories, written by Charlie Kaufman and directed by Michel Gondry. The film uses elements of science fiction, psychological thriller, and a nonlinear narrative to explore the nature of memory and romantic love. It opened in North America on March 19, 2004. And grossed over $70 million worldwide. Kaufman and Gondry wrote the story with Pierre Bismuth. The ensemble cast includes Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet, Kirsten Dunst, Mark Ruffalo, Elijah Wood, Tom Wilkinson, Jane Addams, and David Cross. The film opened to high acclaim from film critics, with much praise centering around its acting and writing. It won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay and has a cult following. Winslet also received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. Plot: emotionally withdrawn Joel Barish and unrestrained free spirit Clementine Kruczynski strike up a relationship on a Long Island Railroad train from Montauk, New York. They are almost immediately drawn to each other despite their radically different personalities. Although they do not realize it at the time, Joel and Clementine are in fact former lovers, now separated after having spent 2 years together. After a fight, Clementine hired the New York City firm Lacuna, Incorporated to erase all her memories of their relationship. Upon discovering this, Joel is devastated and decides to undergo the procedure himself, a process that takes place while he sleeps. Much of the film takes place in Joel's mind. As his memories are erased, Joel finds himself revisiting them in reverse. Upon seeing happier times of love with Clementine from earlier in their relationship, he struggles to preserve at least some memory of her and his love for her. Despite his efforts, the memories are slowly erased, with the last memory of Clementine telling him, "Meet me in Montauk." In separate but related story arcs occurring during Joel's memory erasure, the employees of Lacuna are revealed to be more than peripheral characters. Patrick, one of the Lacuna technicians performing the erasure, is dating Clementine while viewing Joel's memories, and copying aspects of their relationship in order to seduce her. Mary, the Lacuna receptionist, is dating the other memory-erasing technician, Stan. As it turns out, Mary had an affair with Dr. Howard Mierzwiak, the married doctor who heads the compania a relationship which she agreed to have erased from her memory when it was discovered by his wife. Once Mary learns this, she quits her job, confronts Stan about his knowledge of her relationship with Howard, steals the company's records, and sends them out to all the company's clients. Joel and Clementine come upon their Lacuna records shortly after re-encountering each other on the train. They react with shock and bewilderment, given that they have no clear memory of having known each other, let alone having had a relationship and having had their memories erased. Joel beckons Clementine to start over. Clementine initially resists, pointing out it could go the same way. Joel accepts this, and they decide to attempt a relationship anyway, starting their life together anew. Cast: Jim Carrey as Joel Barish, Ryan Whitney as young Joel, Kate Winslet as Clementine Kruczynski, Lola Davila as young Clementine, Kirsten Dunst as Mary Svevo, Mark Ruffalo as Stan Fink, Elijah Wood as Patrick, Tom Wilkinson as Howard Mierzwiak, Jane Addams as Carrie Eakin, David Cross as Rob Eakin, Deirdre O'Connell as Hollis Mierzwiak, Thomas J. Ryan as Frank, Debonair as Joel's mother. Literary references: the title is taken from the poem Eloisa Abelard by Alexander Pope, the story of a tragic love affair, where forgetfulness became the heroine's only comfort. How happy is the blameless Vestal's lot! The World Forgetting, by The World Forgot. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Each prayer accepted, and each wish resigned. Lacuna Incorporated, the fictional firm in the film, derives its name from the Latin lacuna, which means a gap or missing part. Lacuna amnesia is a gap in one's memory about a specific event. Reception: critical reception. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was met with overwhelming acclaim, earning a Rotten Tomatoes approval rating of 93%, making it the second most acclaimed Jim Carrey film, after The Truman Show. Winslet's performance was generally praised. Roger Ebert commented, "Despite jumping through the deliberately disorienting hoops of its story, Eternal Sunshine has an emotional center, and that's what makes it work." Ebert later included the film in his Great Movies series. Similarly, A.O. Scott of the New York Times praised the film for being cerebral, formally and conceptually complicated, dense with literary allusions, and as unabashedly romantic as any movie our Euro unregistered trademark LL ever see. Time Out summed up their review by saying, "The formidable Gondry-Carey axis works marvel after marvel in expressing the bewildering beauty and existential horror of being trapped inside one's own addled mind, and in allegorizing the self-preserving amnesia of a broken but hopeful heart." In 2006, in issue 201 of Empire, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was voted number 83 in their 201 Greatest Movies of All Time poll as voted for by readers. That same year, Winslet's performance as Clementine was included in Premiere Magazine's 100 Greatest Performances of All Time at number 81. Claudia Puig, reviewer in USA Today, said about her performance that Winslet is wonderful as a free spirit whose hair color changes along with her moods. "She hasn't had such a meaty role in a while, and she plays it just right." Carol Vernelis points out that Gondry's experience in directing music videos contributed to the film's mise-en-scène and sound design. Vernelis describes some threads of the visual, oral and musical motifs throughout the film, and how some motifs can work in counterpoint. In November 2009, Time Out New York ranked the film as the third best of the decade. In the past, both director Michel Gondry's kindergarten arts and crafts aesthetic and Charlie Kaufman's paragraph bias striptease scripts have come off as insufferably twee and gimmicky. So why does this existential meter rom-com always leave us teary-eyed and genuinely moved? He duo finally finds the right combination of high concept and humanity here, taking the what-if idea of a company that lobotomizes the lovelorn into territory that's funny, painful, poetic and unsettlingly weird. Entertainment Weekly put it on its end of the decade, best of list, saying, "Only the bizarre and Byzantine brain of Charlie Kaufman could turn this 2004 story about erasing all memories of love into one of the most romantic movies of the decade." Slant magazine placed the film at number 87 on their list of the best films of the 2000s. Paste magazine named it one of the 50 best movies of the decade, ranking it at number 5. At the end of 2009, The Onion's AV Club rated Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind as the number 1 film of the 2000s, beating out the likes of Christopher Nolan's Memento and the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men. The article states, "It's the rare film that shows us who we are now and who we're likely, for better or worse, forever to be." It has been calculated to be the 11th most critically acclaimed film of the 2000s by virtue of its number of appearances on prominent films of the decade lists. In 2013, the Writers Guild of America ranked the film at number 24 on its list of 101 greatest screenplays. Accolades: Kaufman, Gondry, and Bismuth won the 2004 Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. AFI recognition: the film was nominated for placement on 2 American Film Institute lists. AFI's 100 Years. 100 Movies, nominated, AFI's 10 Top 10, nominated Science Fiction Film, Music and Soundtrack. The soundtrack album for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was released by Hollywood Records on March 16, 2004. The score was composed by Los Angeles musician John Bryan. Other songs are from artists such as the Polyphonic Spree, The Willows, and Don Nelson. Beck, in a collaboration with Bryan, provides a cover version of the gorgeous Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime. Home video: Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was released on DVD in the US in separate anamorphic widescreen and full-screen editions on September 28, 2004. Both editions carry English Dolby Digital 5.1 surround, English DTS 5.1 surround and French Dolby Digital 5.1 surround tracks. Bonus features included on this disc are, feature commentary with director Michel Gondry and writer Charlie Kaufman, deleted scenes, a look inside Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a conversation with Jim Carrey and Michel Gondry, The polyphonic Spree Light and Day music video, Lacuna, Incorporated commercial, a special 2-disc widescreen collector's edition DVD was released in the US on January 4, 2005. Features on Disc 1 are identical to the single-disc edition. Bonus features on the 2-disc edition include, collectible packaging and booklet with photos, a conversation with Kate Winslet and Michel Gondry, Inside the Mind of Michel Gondry, additional deleted/extended scenes, Anatomy of a Scene, Saratoga Avenue, The Misadventures of Superdog by Joel Barr, R.Ish. A HD DVD edition was released in the US on April 24, 2007, with a 1080p VC1 video transfer, and both English and French Dolby Digital Plus 5.1 surround tracks. This edition includes all the bonus features from the 2-disc collector's edition, sans the collectible packaging and booklet. A Blu-ray edition was released in the US on January 25, 2011, with a 1080p MPEG-4A VC video transfer, and English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 surround and French DTS 5.1 surround tracks. This edition also includes all the bonus features from the 2-disc collector's edition, sans the collectible packaging and booklet. References. External links, official website, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind at the Internet Movie Database, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind at AllMovie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind at Rotten Tomatoes, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind at Box Office Mojo, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind review by Roger Ebert, Nick Madigan. PicPage plays at Propaganda. Variety A.